What I'm going to tell you could surprise you if you're a man over 60 and have noticed that your erections have diminished, your sensitivity has become dull, or your desire has become subdued. In actuality, age isn't the only thing affecting your manhood. It's an unspoken caution, an appeal for assistance, an indication that your nervous system is beginning to shut down, your tissues are swollen, and your blood flow has slowed. However, nobody tells you this. But he was back in my office grinning after a few weeks of realizing what was actually going on within his body and making the necessary adjustments. He felt alive, not merely because he felt better. Once more. You're done, despite what your body's telling you. I need your attention, circulation, and healing. It's telling you. And everything else starts to make sense after you realize that. Because now the question is, what without medication or surgery will genuinely restore blood flow, reduce inflammation, and put your manhood back online? Your kitchen may hold the solution. I'll show you. The profound healer for guys over 60 is castor oil. I'll tell you the truth. I initially disregarded the idea that castor oil could be beneficial to men's health. It had an antiquated sound, like to something from your grandmother's medicine cabinet, not a substance that would help a man's body regain feeling or blood flow. However, the more I studied, the more I realized it was effective, in ways that even caught me off guard. These days, it's among the first things I suggest to older guys who want to recover without taking medicine. I have never encountered any oil like castor oil. Castor oil penetrates deeper than other oils, which only remain on the skin surface. It enters beneath the outer layers and moves into the tissues, fascia, and blood vessels. And it brings with it something amazing: circulation boosters, anti-inflammatory substances, and a warming deep action that seems to reawaken places that have become sluggish with age. Castor oil softly encourages blood to flow again into areas where it hasn't in years when applied to the lower abdomen, inner thighs, or groin area. One patient immediately springs to mind. Walter, age 74. After being frustrated for 2 years, he came to me. He had almost given up on ever feeling like a man again because no medication had helped. We began simply. Every night, a warm castor oil pack is put to his pelvis. After only a few weeks, he exclaimed, "It's like something switched back on," while looking me in the eyes, and the changes weren't limited to the body. He had less energy. He had a more robust posture. His soul was more radiant. The fact that castor oil doesn't force the body is what I adore most about it. It backs it up. It serves to remind your system how to work. Furthermore, we don't need any more pressure at this age. We require the kind of healing that is genuine, organic, and safe. Castor oil, however, is only half the picture. This healing process is enhanced by one additional component, something that dissolves the very immobility and obstruction that prevent you from moving forward. Additionally, it can produce truly amazing outcomes when combined with castor oil. Allow me to present it to you. Making soda. Sensation-restoring tissue softener. Baking soda is the opener if castor oil is the healer. And no, I'm not referring to using it to wash your teeth or bake it into cookies. I am referring to a use for it that you have most likely never thought of. Intentionally, topically, and gently. I realize it sounds odd. A patient laughed when I originally suggested this to him and remarked, "Doctor, you want me to rub what down there?" A few weeks later, however, he stopped laughing. He was expressing gratitude to me. The majority of guys are unaware of this. Acid, waste, and tensions start to build up in our tissues as we age, particularly in the pelvic area. You don't experience this all at once. Like silt in a pipe, it accumulates gradually. It causes a dullness, hardens the soft tissue, and stops blood flow over time, in identity as well as sensation. You begin to question whether you will ever feel the same way you once did. Baking soda can help with that. The acid that stiffens tissue is subtly neutralized by it. The hardened layers that impede blood flow and nerve responsiveness are loosened by it. Additionally, applying a small amount of it mixed with warm castor oil to your groin, inner thighs, or lower belly creates a sort of opening that invites the body to breathe once more. I recall 68-year-old Ronald trying everything: injections, supplements, and testosterone. Nothing was helpful. However, he looked at me after just 4 sessions of this combination and remarked, "Doctor, I felt warmth I hadn't felt since I was 40. What about the following week? Wood in the morning. What you believed was gone can be restored in a straightforward, natural way. A method free of injections, medications, and embarrassment. And it begins with 2 substances that are now concealed in your house: baking soda and castor oil. With more than 30 years of experience, I, Dr. Mohit Khera, a urologist and men's health specialist, have helped older men rediscover their strength, sensation, and confidence without the use of drugs or hollow promises. In years, for the first time. It wasn't a coincidence. Chemistry was involved, assisting the body rather than opposing it. At this point, things begin to change because your body starts to think that recovery is feasible as soon as you sense even a glimmer of sensation returning. The difficulty now is, how can this combination be applied properly to deliver the most profound effects and go precisely where it's needed? I'll show you how it should be used, one step at a time. The number of times I've witnessed something powerful fail because it wasn't used properly is incalculable. This mixture of baking soda and castor oil isn't a magic cream. This isn't a ploy, it's a tool. Its effectiveness also depends on how you use it, just like any other good tool. I've seen it revitalize tissues that had been dormant for years, increase circulation, and restore warmth when applied properly, consistently, and with presence. This is how I instruct my own patients. Begin with a tidy room and a peaceful moment. Don't hurry. Avoid any distractions. This goes beyond merely applying something. It involves getting back in touch with a side of yourself that you may have neglected for too long. Add a pinch, about half a teaspoon, of baking soda to 1 tablespoon of organic castor oil. Mix until it's smooth. After that, reheat the mixture gently with your hands or for a few minutes in a dish submerged in warm water. Comfort, not heat, is the aim. Apply it gradually now to your inner thighs, groin fold, and lower abdomen. Your manhood gets its blood from these power wires. Make use of circular motions. Apply light pressure. Avoid cleaning. Take your time. Real science and actual patient outcomes form the foundation of what I'm about to demonstrate. I realize now that it sounds strange. Baking soda and castor oil for your masculinity? But that's precisely why you should pay close attention. This combination penetrates deeply into the skin rather than merely sitting on it. It aids in reversing 7 of the most disregarded underlying factors that contribute to deterioration in males over 60. Blood flow is restored. It softens tissue that has stiffened. It reduces inflammation. Additionally, it helps you rediscover a side of yourself that you may have believed was gone. I'll walk you through the entire process, including how to apply it step by step and what to anticipate throughout the first 7, 14, and 30 days. So stay tuned. You are neither too late nor are you too old. Make sure you've turned on the bell and subscribe before we get started. Thus, you never miss another innovative health advice or natural cure created especially for guys over 60. Additionally, put 1 in the comments if this message resonates with you. Type 0 if it doesn't. I'm here to grow, learn, and always provide you with greater service. Let's start with something that most guys over 60 never hear but must comprehend. Because you must understand the true cause of your reduced erections before any healing can take place. You feel exhausted and your sensitivity is diminishing. It's not just age either. That is potentially misleading and way too basic. What's truly taking place inside your body is much more promising and specific. Why your manhood is begging for assistance rather than failing. Hundreds of men have sat across from me. They are strong, wise, and have created families, careers, and legacies. I suspect something's wrong down there, though, because when they discuss what's happening to their bodies after the age of 60, they look down, speak in a hushed tone, and use the same term. They point the finger at their age, stress, and past transgressions. However, the majority of them are mistaken and not in the sense they believe. Failure isn't what's happening to their manhood. It's not over yet. It's an indication, an alert light. It might also be the start of something strong if you heed to it. You see, it's not because you're damaged when your erections stop working. your senses become dull, or your body begins to feel strange or far away. Your blood isn't flowing as it once did, which is the reason. Your prostate has swelled just enough to press against the important nerves. Inflammation has infiltrated your pelvic tissues, and your body is gradually shutting down the very systems that used to give you pleasure, connection, and confidence. The best news, though, is that all of this is naturally, shamelessly, and safely resolvable. I recall Joseph, a 68-year-old widower and considerate patient of mine. "I feel like I've just vanished down there, Doc," he replied, looking me in the eye. "Force is not the issue here. Signal is the key. You're letting your body know that you're wanted and protected." To help the mix go even deeper, some men cover the region with a warm towel for 20 to 30 minutes. Others simply listen to their bodies while lying motionless and breathing. Whatever you choose, proceed with caution. And the most crucial element? Do it again, a minimum of 3 times every week. It takes time to recover. However, it does arrive. I've seen that countless times. This has happened far too often for me to count. Bill, a 72-year-old retired firefighter, was one patient who was doing everything correctly. The routine, the blend, and the pressure spots. However, he said, "Doctor, I feel like I'm making some progress, and then I regress." "What are you eating after your sessions?" I asked him softly. It all made sense after that. White bread, drinks, processed meats, heavy cheese, nothing fresh or living. His meal was shutting off the opening in his body. We didn't make any drastic modifications. He included a bowl of steamed spinach with olive oil and garlic, one of the best natural artery softeners I've ever seen, a glass of beet juice, which floods the body with nitric oxide for blood flow, a hard-boiled egg or half an avocado for healthy fats and hormones, and a square of dark chocolate, which is rich in flavonoids, to stimulate nitric oxide and improve circulation after each session. Just actual food when it's needed. And everything changed in a week. Not only his erections, but also his disposition, vitality, and self-control. He said, "I feel like I got a piece of myself back." You don't have to change your diet completely. When your body's ready to mend, all you have to do is support it. Because when you do, the effects are not only long-lasting, but also cumulative. However, there is one additional component that completes the picture. It's not physical either. It's your perception of yourself. Let's move on to the silent narrative you tell yourself every day when you gaze in the mirror. The change in perspective that brings men back to life. After 30 years of listening to men in private, I've discovered something. What happens to the mind is often more harmful than what happens to the body. Men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s have sat across from me and whispered to me that they felt invisible, that they had quietly come to terms with the fact that their prime was over. And I understand. It's simple to start thinking you're broken when your body doesn't react the same way it used to. But this is what I need you to hear now. You're not damaged. You're holding out. Frank, one of my patients, underwent prostate surgery, made it through the recuperation period, and performed flawlessly. However, he said something I will never forget when he sat down in front of me. "I am in good physical health. However, I no longer feel like a guy." It really got to me, because I knew that unless he felt that he still cared, nothing, not even food, oil, or technique, could heal him. So I suggested that he attempt something easy. Put one hand on his chest and say aloud, "I still matter," each night after using the combination. There is more to my story. At first, he told me, it felt stupid. However, something changed during the ensuing weeks. In his presence, not simply in his physique, his gaze, his tone, his vitality. "I feel alive again," he said. "Not flawless. Never again be 20, but authentic." There, complete. When you send your body signals, it reacts. You get smaller when you treat yourself like a burden. However, something strong reawakens when you take the time to care for yourself, even if it's only for a few quiet minutes each day. This mixture is effective. The foods are effective. The points of pressure, the flow, the chemistry. Everything counts. But believing is what keeps it in place. Therefore, you now understand the instruments, the attitude. How to make all of this into a straightforward, repeatable rhythm is the question. A nightly routine that actually makes a difference. I'll show you just that next. In conclusion, this is the beginning of your new beginning. So here we are. Most guys over 60 will never hear the 7 profound realities you just shared. Facts about your health, vitality, blood flow, and value. We discussed why your masculinity isn't failing, how baking soda and castor oil can help repair the damage caused by aging. The power to revive yourself is in your hands, your food, and even your beliefs. In addition to being a doctor, I have also sat with guys who believed it was over before realizing it wasn't. There's still time. You're still strong. You are still important. It's your time now. Put this knowledge to use. Begin this evening, because it's not only the oil that contains the true medicine, it lies in the routine, the constancy, and the silent choice to reaffirm your self-belief. It's not over yet. It's the start of something you'll always have, simply lost the ability to feel. A glimmer of emotion, a more profound slumber, a more powerful stream, and then assurance. However, there is one more layer to add if you truly want to go further and experience the outcomes more deeply rather than just more quickly. Because there are 3 pressure sites in your own hands that can immediately increase blood flow and stimulate dormant nerves. They are unknown to most males. You will soon. Pressure points that awaken the pelvis. As men age, they tend to forget about the power of the human body. It has its own solutions. We're so accustomed to searching for answers elsewhere. In tablets, in the process, in fast fixes. Sometimes, however, you already hold the key to recovery, literally. Before we get started, I'd love to know where you're joining me from today. Drop a comment below and feel free to ask any questions you have. And don't forget to hit subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on the best health tips. And if you're watching right now, I want to know you're with me. Type 1 in the comments if this video speaks to you. Type 0 if not. I have helped many elderly men recover physically over the years. However, the most unexpected discoveries are frequently the result of something straightforward. Make contact, not a machine, not medical. However, deliberate, considerate touch done at the appropriate times and in the appropriate places. I instruct my patients to apply the castor oil and baking soda mixture to 3 pressure points. These are faint, tiny zones. However, they behave similarly to switches. The first is located in the gentle valley between 2 tendons at the base of your wrist. It expands blood vessels, relaxes the heart, and changes your nervous system from stress to restoration when you gently press it for 60 seconds. The second is located on the inside of the thigh, approximately 4 fingers above the groin fold. Applying pressure here promotes lymphatic flow and increases pelvic circulation. The third can be located where your big toe and second toe meet. This point has been used in traditional medicine to restore blood flow, vigor, and even the balance of testosterone. George, 79, was just widowed, as I recall. He came to me to feel alive again, not for performance guidance. "I don't want to feel invisible," he remarked. Therefore, we didn't begin with medicine. His hands, these pressure areas, the combination, and a peaceful moment every night were where we began. His voice was stronger when he called me 2 weeks later. "I feel like myself again, Doc," he said. "These aren't tricks of the trade. The body uses these as cues that it's okay to open, experience, and come back. They enhance the effect and help you reconnect with yourself when used in conjunction with the blend. But the healing doesn't stop there. What you do right after this ritual, what you eat, and what you put into your body can either permanently lock in the results or subtly undo them. Additionally, the majority of males get this section entirely wrong. Allow me to demonstrate how to do it correctly. 6. The foods that keep the healing process going. The majority of guys are unaware of this. Following the application of the castor oil and baking soda mixture, your diet has the power to either seal the healing or subtly reverse all of the hard work you have just completed. Consider it. You've just increased blood flow, opened up your tissues, and unobstructed passageways that might have been blocked for years. At last, your body is prepared to take in nutrients and heal itself. It's like flushing out a river and then dumping muck back upstream if you give it the incorrect fuel.